I don't know anything about myself or my family or what's made me who I am today. I can't go back any further than my grandparents. I'm a Cockney, I come from the East End of London, but I was always denied the East End because my mother, God bless her, thought it was the best thing. She was a bit of a snob because she thought, as far as she was concerned, it was very working class, and she'd done everything to better herself and get away from that. And she wanted everyone to think I came from North London. So I want to know, are my ancestors, are they from the East End? Is it, I'd love that to be East End through and through, or do I come from anywhere else? We bought 2 coffees, 1 cup.
Actress Barbara Windsor, MBE, lives in central London with her husband Scott.
What are you going to do today after we've done this? Because you know I've got to go off and find out about my life. I'm really nervous. I'm terribly nervous.
I think it'll be exciting.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I've got these feelings, these butterflies in my stomach. See, if I could come in now and go da 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 da, and know it all, then it would be fine.
It's like, what are you nervous of finding out? It's a bit like that. I mean, there's something I'd like to find out, whether there's any of your ancestors that keep losing their keys. I mean, that would be a very kind of good thing for me to know.
I am aggravating, aren't I? My mother and father, that's Rose Alexandra Ellis, and my father, John Henry James Deeks. They were an incredible-looking couple. They were fantastic. It was funny because they were totally different. My father was a barrow boy, and my mother was a dressmaker, but she always said couture, because my mother, bless her, always wanted to better herself, which I appreciate now. When I got older at the time, I say, why, what for? And my father always wanted to stay in the East End, and that made the marriage, quite hairy.
Barbara was born Barbara Ann Deeks in 1937 in the East End of London. Much to her mother's irritation, she inherited the cheeky looks and clever patter of her father, John.
I mean, look at the forehead, exactly the same, and the same little blonde hair, same smile, that big smile. I felt very much a daddy's girl. I never felt a mummy's girl, ever, ever, ever. While Daddy was away at war, Mummy moved us out the East End to North London, and I suppose she saw it as a move up the social ladder. But when Daddy came home, he wasn't happy at all there. There'd always been, rifts had always been there, and I was always aware of rows and arguments. Gradually the marriage fell apart, and then Daddy, he started to get a bit violent with Mummy. And then at the age of 14, I was called to testify at the divorce hearing. And I came out, and Mummy said, well, they've awarded you to me, darling. She said, Daddy's going to give me 5 shillings a week. And I said, well, what's going to happen with Daddy? Will I see him? And she said, yes, I'll make sure he takes you to the cinema like every week and all the rest of it. And with that, Daddy walked down. I always remember he had this terrible yellow sweater on, which I was amazed because he was always so smart. He walked with his yellow sweater. His face was bright red, and I thought, he's going to just hit everybody, because I've seen him like that. And he just walked past me and looked at me, and Mummy, he almost spat at us and just walked away. And it was, I didn't understand it at all. Hello, darling. What's your name? Hello, lovely to see you.
After Barbara's father left, the dominant male figure in her life was her maternal grandfather, Charlie Ellis. Charlie was a dock worker by day and an amateur singer by night.
He used to let himself down my granddad, because he did used to like a bit of a tipple. And when he worked at the docks, you see, he used to drink, when he finished, he'd finish early and have the few before he came home. And my mother used to say, because I went to school, that's where I went to school there, you see. And Granddad used to get off the bus and he used to walk up here, you see. And my mum used to say, if you see your Granddad, ignore him. He is not your Granddad. Well, of course, I loved him. I loved that, you see. And I knew that if I saw my Granddad, I could get tuppence for a jam donut, you see. And the baker's was just there. So I would go out my way and hope and pray he'd had a few, and and he used to come, always be singing, always up the street, singing down the street. But everyone knew Charlie Ellis.
When Charlie worked at the docks, London was the largest port in the world, having traded via the Thames since Roman times. In the 19th century, the river had become so congested that companies built their own docks to allow their ships to moor alongside their warehouses. By the 1930s, there were 9 separate docks and over 30 miles of quayside, with an average of 1,000 ships arriving and departing each week. The docks were a self-contained secret world in the heart of the East End.
I'm now going back to the docks to find out more about my granddad, Charlie Ellis. I know in the latter part of his life he was a tea boy. And that's in his late 70s into 80s at the docks. You know, we say a tea boy at the docks, but they all loved Charlie. I think they wanted him around because he just, as I say, the people just adored him. And I just want to find out more about him. And also it's interesting to see, I mean, I have been here before, but see how much it's changed. Hartsfield is lovely. I mean, it's like being in Manhattan, but there's a lack of community. You know, I just feel that they've pushed out the true East Enders. Oh, well, I know they have. But that's progress. And my granddad was very much of today. I mean, he used to keep up to fashion and with all the music. So he wouldn't have said, "Oh, let's stay in this way we are now." So I don't think he would have liked it. I think he would have dined out on this. Well, I'm going Canary Wharf. He said, it's all poshed up now. He would have liked that, yes.
The next stop is Canary Wharf.
Grandfather Charlie worked at the London dock, the most romantic of all the docks, as it dealt in exotic goods from all parts of the thriving British Empire. Charlie spent much of his life working as a labourer underground. Barbara has come to meet Chris Elmers, consultant historian for the museum in Docklands.
Did you know that this is the vaults down here is where your granddad worked, where Charlie worked down here?
I didn't.
He worked for in the vaults. He worked for the wine department at the Port London Authority.
He would. That's why I used to get off the bus pit.
He spent 26 years of his life in areas like this,
God,
looking after wines, port, sherries, brandies. Later on down in this vault they stored rum up from the mid-1930s. So there were lots of possible temptations. Occasionally some of the men sort of helped themselves, and that was called sucking the monkey. They drilled a little hole into the side of the barrels, put a little pipe in, had filled up a mug or something, shouldn't do it at all, and then plugged up the hole,
In latter years, he's late, just not long before he died, they kept him on as a tea boy because they were so very fond of him.
Yeah, that's right, because I think he retired when he was 65, which is for many people still quite a young person.
That was to him, yes.
His pension wouldn't have been enormous, and it would have been nice for him to have topped that up. And also, I think people like the joviality of the guys who they worked with. These were small communities who worked down here. I mean, the total number of labourers in the wine department was about 70. Something here I think you'll find of interest, Barbara. It's the staff employment card from the Port London Authority, which is in the museum in Docklands Archive now, relating to your grandfather, Charlie Ellis. And you can see it tracks everything from his birth on the 15th of November 1877 to his retirement on the 19th of November 1942. And he starts work in 1916 as an extra labourer. When he was born, 1877, extra labourers were the lowest of the low in terms of port workers, because they were really casual. So, and above those you had preference labourers, above those you had permanent labourers. But you can see with Charlie's case, within 3 years, he's become a B labourer. That's a preferable labourer. So he's got far more chance of finding regular work working for the PLA. So he's moving up a sort of social hierarchy.
Oh, my mum will be pleased.
Really good, OK. And then, within sort of 2 years, he's become a permanent labourer, OK?
Yes.
Really good.
You know, I've had a smashing day. I've not been let down one little bit. You know, I found out that my granddad Charlie, you know, started at the docks and at the lowest kind of a job, and worked his way up and wanted to better himself. And I suppose that's where my mother got that from. You know, wanting to better herself. And I suppose, that's the reason why he would have looked down on the Deeks' side, because they never ever did. My granddad Deeks never wanted to better himself.
Unlike Charlie Ellis, Barbara's paternal grandfather, Jack Deeks, had no ambition. He was content to work as a casual labourer or as a barrow boy, a costermonger. His wife Polly was a factory cleaner in the East End. But Barbara wants to find out whether there's more to Grandad Jack and Nan Polly Deeks than she's been led to believe.
We're going to Clacton to see I call him my cousin Gerald, but he's more like a distant cousin. And he's on the Deeks side. And it's funny, I always used to argue with Mum, he can't be on the Deeks side, because he's so sweet. You know, he really was. Not, you know, I might find out something different about the Deeks family, but of course I was always told that they weren't a very nice lot on my dad's side. And I got sent this, which is these two jolly men, and my granddad, Jack Deeks. He was called John Deeks, but everyone called him Jack Deeks. So I know nothing about these two men. And then there's this terrific picture of Fat Nanny Deeks and my father, looking absolutely fantastic, the pair of them. And Fat Nanny, she was a very sweet, sweet little lady. She was, you know, I always felt that Grandad Deeks did bully her, you know, and I think that's what Daddy inherited. Many, many years later, when there used to be the arguments with me and my mum when I was growing up, she used to say, "You're getting more like your fat nanny every day." I said, "Oh, Mummy," no, you know. And now you say, "Good, good, good." See, I haven't been on a train for a long time. I stood there waiting, thinking the doors had opened. Hello, Gerald. How are you, darling? You okay? Oh, good to see you too. All very friendly with this, okay?
Okay.
Oh, isn't this lovely?
Yes, just today. You brought the sunshine with you.
Yeah, where do I go? Straight through here?
Grandad had a bit of a reputation.
My granddad?
Yeah.
Jack?
Yeah, Jack Deeks.
Did he?
You know.
That doesn't surprise me.
They say he used to be.
Yeah, handy with his fists.
Yeah, and handy with this.
And with it. Well, I do know that because Mummy stopped me going down to see them because she came by on a bus one day and saw me standing outside a pub with crisps. Oh.
The other story is that when he first started going out with Polly, my grandmother didn't like the idea of her going out with him, because she was in the pub, she ran the pub, and Jack was a costermonger, you know, I suppose sort of a bit below them, like.
Yes.
And so she stopped Polly from seeing him, wouldn't let her go out.
Oh, really?
But he came round. The story goes, how true it is, I don't know, that he came round with an axe and he smashed the piano up in the pub in a temper.
That doesn't surprise me, actually, from what I've heard. Yeah, it's that quick, fiery temper,
That's right, yeah,
red, and Daddy was the same.
Yeah.
I love this photo, and that's
photo.
Fat Nanny.
Yeah.
And that is Daddy,
That's
isn't it?
right,
Isn't it? In a sailor suit. All young men, they always put in a
She
sailor
wasn't
suit.
Fat Nanny there.
No, she's not there. No, but you've got to think. I know nothing about her before. You know what was her life like before she got married or whatever. I don't know.
I remember her telling me that when she was quite young still, she was a hoofer for a time at a musical in Hoxton. And it was called the Britannia Musical.
I know Britannia Musical because of playing Mari Lloyd.
Oh yeah.
So I know the musicals, which are no longer there, unfortunately.
No.
Well, don't tell me.
Yeah.
So she was on the halls.
Yeah.
Now that's amazing
Yeah.
because my granddad Ellis, Charlie Ellis, would be devastated. He thinks I got the little bit of talent I had from him.
Oh,
you know what I
see,
mean?
yeah.
And wait till
no.
oh my God, it could have come from the Deeksy side.
Some of it, yeah.
I don't know much about the Deeks family apart from Nanny and Grandad. And to hear that Fat Nanny was a hoofer, I just think is amazing and was in the music hall. Because I love music hall. But what is it about the Deekses? Like my great-grandmother didn't want my granddad, Jack, to marry my grandma, Polly. In fact, she was so against it, and it took him to go around and smash the piano up in the pub to let him marry her. Well, that's the same thing with my mother. My nanny and granddad on the Ellis side didn't want my mother to marry my father. So I'm now desperate to know more about the Deekses, which I never particularly did before.
Both Barbara's father John and grandfather Jack were barrow boys, known in the trade as costermongers. Larry Barnes is an authority on the history of London market life.
My family on my mother's side, the Ellises, looked down on the costermongers, the Deekses. Now, why did they look down on costermongers?
In the early days, before they started leasing out the pitches, when you put your pitch down wherever you could, the policeman could come along and say, you're causing an obstruction, move it, and you got no choice, you moved it.
See.
So you were an itinerant.
Yes.
And itinerants were very much rogues and vagabonds.
Okay.
In the 18th century, if you were thirsty on the streets of London, you bought an apple, a costard apple. And the traders who sold them in baskets became known as costardmongers. In Victorian times, when Jack Deeks was born, there were about 30,000 costers in London selling all manner of produce. The costermongers began to distinguish themselves from the punters by the way they dressed. They sewed lines of pearl buttons, known as the flash, on their jackets and hats.
That was just the flash, as was. So you get the term flash git and flash boy from.
Your flash git.
Exactly.
I see.
And if you wore a flash in a market, you were a coster. And slowly, the coster king of each market became the pearly king of that area.
East End market life is responsible for some of the most enduring contributions to London's popular culture. The most inventive, started by the costers, is undoubtedly rhyming slang.
Slang, you know where that comes from?
No.
Slang, secret language.
Secret language, wow. No,
it wasn't really trying to be cool and wicked and all like that. It had a purpose. You wanted to talk secretly to somebody without that geezer over there knowing what was going on.
On my mother's side, I always remember them saying, don't talk rhyming slang, don't talk like the barrow boys, like the costermongers.
I mean, that's the market.
Yes.
You're slightly above that.
Well, I think that was why, on my mother's side, they were always worried about me going to see my paternal nan and granddad, because they did speak like that, you see. Well, especially just my granddad. Yeah, Granddad Deeks.
Barbara hopes that a distant cousin who she's never met before can help her trace the Deeks family further back.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, darling. How lovely to meet you. Oh, we match, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Good taste.
And you're Gloria, aren't you?
I am.
love
yeah,
that
nice
name,
to meet
Gloria.
you, Barbara.
I love it. And nice to see you, darling. And so I've been told that you know something about the Deeks family.
Yeah, well, my name was Gloria Deeks.
Oh, you're Gloria Deeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
So
on.
my, what I'd like to show you is this here.
Oh, goodness me.
This is your great-grandfather.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. Oh, I wondered who that was, that gentleman. Oh,
Yeah.
and it didn't dawn on me.
Yeah.
That's quite an old
So we
picture,
share the
yeah.
same great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
Yeah. He had over 10 children.
10?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, and they all went into, obviously, different
Trades,
and some were in the furniture business, chair makers.
Yeah.
And some were in they had fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
Costermongers.
Costermongers, yeah.
This is my father.
Mm-hmm. Lovely, handsome.
There's just something, a look about them, isn't there, that...
Yeah, absolutely.
They
you
were
know,
very attractive
you know
men.
the Deeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my father was very aware of that. So was
Yes.
my granddad.
Yeah.
You know, he'd. And my thing, I always think my mother did marry for looks and the personality of my father.
Yeah.
Because when it boiled down to it, he was everything she didn't want in a man because he had no ambition.
Yeah.
You know, he just wanted to go and drink in the pubs in the East End. And yet he was a highly intelligent. Yeah. And so was my granddad. Yeah, they were. They all won their scholarships.
Yeah, my dad did.
Marks,
My dad won a scholarship.
Yes, it's funny. And I did when I was 10 and a half, 11. Yeah, it's, I won the highest marks in the whole of North London.
Brilliant. Well done. I'd like to show you this one as well, Barbara.
Oh, that's this pub.
Yeah,
isn't
this is
it?
this pub. Yeah.
Oh,
The Royal
gosh.
Oak.
And it's the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
The shape of it's still the
It's
same.
still the same, yes.
Yeah. It's,
So who are you going to point out for me?
There
That's
he is,
great-granddad.
great-granddad.
Yeah, they're on one of their outings.
Excuse me, there's something that might interest you down the back here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So here? Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
Oh, isn't that... Oh, you must be thrilled.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, look, now...
Oh, much clearer too,
there's
isn't it? Look at him
great-granddad.
there. Yeah.
And there's...
That's my granddad.
Wow. Do people comment on it?
Yeah, everyone goes up to it and looks at it. You get
Well, can you say that they're
huddling round
they're
it.
Barbara Windsor's, who you might know her. She's a lady who, you know, carry on at EastEnders, and say that that's my great grandfather. This gentleman
This one with the
here,
moustache.
okay, on a cigarette machine. That's fantastic. The Deekses. Gosh, I never thought I'd find anything like this. Terrific.
Before she leaves, there's more information for Barbara on an even earlier generation of Deekses.
What have you got here, Chloe?
Right, this is the 1871 census.
Right.
And it shows you there, this is your great-grandfather,
Yeah.
which is John
John.
Deeks. And this is his father, your great-great-grandfather, also called John.
Oh, how original.
Yeah. There seems to be quite a lot of them.
So that's great-great-grandfather.
That's right, and they lived at 14 Howard Street, which unfortunately is no longer there, so...
He was a bricklayer.
He was a bricklayer.
That's quite a good job then, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That wasn't
probably
bad,
helped build the East End, I would think.
Yes, I would think so. What I loved about meeting Gloria was finding out that I've got 2 more generations of EastEnders in me, as Mummy always denied me being a Cockney, and I feel like I might be a true EastEnder.
With 2 more Johns added to the Deeks family tree, Barbara now wants to know more about the life her great-great-grandfather would have led in 19th century East End. So she's off to the Metropolitan Archives to talk to Professor Paul Johnson.
Paul, darling, I've just found out that I had a great-great-grandfather called, like they all were, John Deeks. And this is where he lived.
14 Harold Street in Bethnal Green.
Right.
And he was a bricklayer.
Mm-hmm.
There were a huge number of bricklayers in London
I thought there would be.
in the 1870s. Because London back then was like, I don't know, like Shanghai today. It was the boom city. You could say it was a huge construction site, really. So being a bricklayer was a pretty good job to have.
Oh, good.
It was a skilled job. But it was a tough living, because this is an example of a construction site, okay, in the 1870s. Here actually is a builder, maybe that's John Deeks, you never know. And you could say, well, that looks like any sort of construction site like today, except there's just no equipment there.
No, there's not.
There's a cart and a horse, and there are men, and there's nothing else.
Yes.
And so it was a huge amount of work that the bricklayers and others had to do.
The East End had always been the poor sister to the west of London, but they were further polarised by the 19th century Industrial Revolution. In the East End, land and labour were cheap, and unlike other parts of London, there was no regulation of dangerous industries such as chemical and tanning factories. Noxious fumes engulfed the already polluted and filthy streets.
London in the 1870s was a city of 3 million people, and it had essentially no drainage system.
Oh, must have stunk.
And it also had tens of thousands of horses. It
stunk.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
There was chronic overcrowding. In the 1880s, the Booth Poverty Survey of London included the street where John Deeks was living, like most EastEnders, in a tiny terraced house with at least 12 other people.
We know that John Deeks lived in Harold Street in Bethnal Green. Harold Street is described as being very poor, and then this is a description of it.
Hardly a single house had unbroken windows, all windows clean, all children, of whom there were a great number, booted, but the majority hatless. Very rough.
That's right.
And constant trouble to the police. Oh dear.
So...
I might have guessed. I might have guessed.
The miserable conditions in the East End spurred the burgeoning middle classes to migrate to North London. The introduction of horse-drawn buses made it easier to get into the city from further afield than the East End. At the end of the 19th century, large-scale East European immigration put further pressure on the housing. The middle classes left behind a hell of poverty.
The term EastEnders was invented in the 1880s.
Was it?
And it was in popular use, and it was picked up by the press. There were poor people dotted around all over London, okay, but they were described as the respectable poor. And then there were the EastEnders, and what newspapers said was, if you come across an EastEnder, you need to hold on to your wallet and get the bug powder out, okay? Because they were thieves and they were flea-ridden.
Press again, you see?
That's right.
There was also a depression of trade. Long before the advent of unemployment benefit, there were grim consequences for men like John Deeks if they couldn't find work.
Where we are now, the London Metropolitan Archives, they've got the records of the poorhouses of London, including Bethnal Green.
Yeah. Oh.
So we could go and have a look at those to see if John Deeks ever ended up on hard times.
Oh, don't. I have to take my Kleenex, my tissues then. Oh, I couldn't bear it.
So this is one of the Bethnal Green Poor Law registers, but the names are all a bit of a muddle. So it takes some time to... here we are, onto the D's. So what we're doing now is looking for... Deeks.
Nope. Oh, blimey, yes.
John Deeks.
Harold
Street was admitted to the workhouse, Bethnal Green Workhouse, on October the 12th, 1887.
1887.
And...
So how old would he have been?
Was let out on the 15th of November, so early 50s.
He was in the workhouse for 5 weeks, so the bricklaying wasn't so good.
Victorian workhouses were dreaded institutions where conditions were purposefully bad to deter people from claiming poor relief. They cast a stigma, not just on the individuals that went into them, but also on their families.
Barbara, what we've got here is another workhouse register, but this time it's 1904. He goes into the workhouse.
Right.
He's there for 2 years.
2 years?
So by this time, he's no longer in the labour market.
No.
He's
That's it.
aged.
Yes.
And what we see is that the workhouse now is acting for him as an old age home.
Oh, right.
I wouldn't say an old age care home, an old age home.
Yes.
And he's got no other means of support.
Well, my great-granddad, his son John, had 10 children. So you kind of understand how maybe he couldn't help at all.
Yeah.
But one thinks of, well, you've got to look after your mum and dad, don't you? We've been brought up to think that way. But then there's your children.
But just think, you know, if you've got 10 children, you're living in one of those small houses. You've got a 72-year-old who needs nursing care. And, how could you provide it?
And I was just thinking, he said, you look after the kids.
Yeah.
They're the future.
That's right. Life was tough.
It just made me sad. I thought going that far back, it wouldn't affect me, you know. But it has, because it's me. It's part of me. Where's my tissue?
Was it the shame of John Deeks ending up in the workhouse that began the bad reputation of the Deekses? Barbara knows her grandfather on her mother's side, Charlie Ellis, bettered himself. But he also started out poor. So where did he come from?
This is a photograph of my great-grandmother, my granddad Charlie Ellis's mother. I can see the likeness very much, and in fact I can see my mother in her. It's the nose.
Barbara doesn't know her great-grandmother's name, so she needs to look up the 1881 census. But she has to enlist the help of husband Scott, and she's never used a computer in her life.
He was born 1877.
Okay, and where was he born?
Bethnal Green.
Okay. View record. Mal, Bethnal Green, street address 59 Old Nichols Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Ellis.
Charles,
that looks like Phoebe.
Is that Phoebe
Ellis, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Phoebe Ellis.
So would that be his mother, do you reckon?
Son. But that can't be Phoebe. Charles.
Yeah. What's the D.O. afterwards?
It's not Phoebe, it's Charles. Charles Doe, William Doe, son.
Yeah.
Why? How come they took? I mean, if Mary's name's Doe,
well,
so was that? Is her?
Yeah.
Maybe that was her maiden name. Hold on.
No.
Oh, it's not Doe, is it? It's Ditto. We'll erase the family name of Doe. Okay.
Right. Okay. Fine. So we still don't know what his mother was called, right?
We're clueless, aren't we?
No, we're doing well, darling.
Elizabeth Doe.
So there's Charles Ellis.
Yeah.
And then his wife, look.
Mary. So age 26, is that?
Yeah, it looks. Now, what does that say?
Something about a box.
Matchbox maker. Gosh, I saw a show about that.
Wow.
The Matchstick Girls.
Shoreditch.
Yeah.
So Charlie Ellis's mother was called Mary Ann, and she was a matchbox maker in the East End. Barbara has come to the Bryant and May factory in Bow, East London, to meet matchgirl expert Louise Raw.
Louise, I found out from the census 1881 that my great-grandmother was Mary, I think Ann Ellis.
Right.
And she was a matchbox maker.
Right.
And she lived in Old Nichols Street.
Old Nickel Street, that was part, I don't know if you know, of the Old Nickel slum, basically.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, it was a very poor area of London,
right,
indeed.
Okay, yeah.
People would be living 1 or 2 families, maybe in one room sometimes. No sanitation at all. Lots of crime.
Lots of crime?
Lots of crime. The Old Nickel did have a reputation as being the worst part of the East End at the time. But quite a lot of matchbox makers came from that area.
Yes.
And they would mostly be working from the Bryant and May factory. They'd have here at the factory perhaps 2,000 people working,
yes.
plus an unlimited number of what they called in and outers, which is what she would have been.
She would have
what
been,
the girls here,
yes.
the matchmakers, called in and outers, who'd be making the boxes at home. But she'd still be quite familiar with the factory. She would probably get up around 5 in the morning and come down here to actually pick up the paste and the boxes and the cardboards, bring it back home.
Yes.
They would then spend perhaps 16 hours all day making boxes and bring them back in the evening to pick up their money.
Home working was a popular choice for many East End women, as it meant the whole family could help out. But the work was relentless. Matchbox girls had to make about 1,000 boxes a day in cramped and squalid surroundings. But home conditions were nothing compared to those suffered by the factory girls. Strict fines were imposed for dropping matches or having dirty feet, and the work was highly dangerous. Toxic fumes from the white phosphorus used in the matches could cause phossy jaw, a painful, disfiguring, and occasionally fatal disease. This appalling suffering in the workplace led to the Bryant and May match strike of 1888, when 1,400 women walked out, putting a halt to manufacturing for 3 weeks. Although there's no evidence that Mary Ann took part in the strike, the majority of in and outers showed solidarity by contributing to the strike fund. The match girls succeeded in changing the fine system and improving conditions. Crucially, it was the first strike by unorganized workers to gain national publicity and inspired the formation of trade unions.
And these are some of the girls that went on strike then. I do love the fact they've got their hats on. They were famous for their hats. Even though they earned such low wages, they used to club together whatever they could afford and pay into what they called feather clubs.
Feather clubs, yeah.
They'd buy hats, and none of your little sort of, discreet jobs. They'd get the biggest hats they could with the biggest feathers, and they'd share them. They'd be communal hats. So
they shared them?
They'd share them. So if you had a date with the docker on Saturday night,
you can have
hat.
You can have the hat.
No, you had it last weekend.
Oh, I love that.
So I love the fact that although they're dressed for grotty work, they've still got their little bit of glamour. Always a little bit of glamour, exactly. And they used to also, when they were out of work, like to wear really high-heeled boots as well, because they were quite little, a lot of them.
Were
quite
they?
Small.
Because I'm 4'10½".
There you
so
go.
I would be
You'd
so
have been
right
absolutely perfect, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Little lace-up high-heeled boots.
I definitely would have been a match girl without
I
a doubt.
can see it. Yeah, I think I can see it. A lot of these women probably were Irish as well.
Oh, were
of
they?
Irish heritage, yeah. Bryant and May actually said to the girls' own paper, bizarrely enough, when they were giving an interview, that all our hands hail by heritage or by birth from the Emerald Isle.
So Mary Ann?
Well, it's entirely possible.
Yes,
it's entirely possible that there was some Irish blood in there.
Okay.
Yeah, quite likely, I would say.
That will please my friend Danny LaRue. He'll love it if I've got a bit of Irish in me. He'll love that. It was interesting to learn that Mary Ann lived in the worst slum in London. I mean, the Deetses may have been in the workhouse, but the Ellises were no better off, really, were they? But I loved finding out about Mary Ann. I mean, it was a very, very hard life, but they sounded really ballsy, those ladies. I've got my granddad, Charlie Ellis's birth certificate, and I see that Mary Ann Ellis was formerly Collins. Now, we all know that Collins is an Irish name, so I've got a feeling I've got a bit of the old Blarney in me, Irish, and I'm so thrilled. I'd love that.
To find out if she does have Irish blood, Barbara must begin with the 1871 census to find Mary Ann's parents, the Collins.
Right. Collins. Let's have a look.
There we go.
Right, now then.
Head.
We've got
What
the head
does
and
that
wife.
say?
We've got
What does
Ellen
that-
and...
What's that say?
Is that William?
Yeah, William Collins.
William
okay.
and Ellen.
Let's find out where they live. That's the head of the family.
Yeah.
That's
48, that looks like.
yeah, 48.
And he was a cabinet maker. Okay.
Oh, right. And where's that?
Ireland.
Ireland!
So there you go.
Oh, look. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ireland. Oh, lovely.
Cork.
Cork! Oh, Danny comes from Cork.
Is it really? That's funny, isn't it?
Oh, dear. Oh, that's brilliant, brilliant. Oh.
Carry on up the Blarney.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mary Ann's parents, William and Ellen Collins, are stated as living in the East End on the 1871 census. There are clues as to when they left Ireland on the census of 1851.
They left Ireland around about 1846 to 1850. And the reason I know this is because Mary Ann was born in the city of Cork, but James, the first son, was born in the East End of London. So what I want to know is, why did William Collins bring the family to the East End of London? He was a cabinet maker. I mean, did he bring them because he wanted to better himself, thought there might be better prospects? I don't know. So that's why I'm on my way to Cork to find out.
In the early 1840s, Cork was an important cosmopolitan city, rivaling Dublin in size and prosperity. It had a thriving and expanding economy with plenty of work for cabinet makers. Irish historian Dr. John Bew can help Barbara understand William's life there.
William, as a skilled tradesman, would have had some sort of standing in society, would have had a skill to offer and a part in this economy.
What class? I mean...
well, I think he would have been called an artisan, but I guess if we're thinking in modern terms, possibly lower middle class.
Between 1846 and 50, they moved to England, and I just want to know, would you know why?
Well, there's no question, if they're moving between that period, it's something to do with the Irish famine, which really starts in 1845.
Is that the potato famine?
The potato famine.
Right. Obviously, I learnt that at school, but it's not something we knew much about. You know, we just say, oh yeah, the potato famine in Ireland. Well, I'm talking about us, the English, the children. No, so I just tell me how was it?
Well, just to sort of give you some idea of the scale of the crisis, we're talking, millions of people, possibly over 1 million dying in Ireland, starving and of other illnesses.
The Irish potato famine was the result of a fatal combination of potato blight and British foreign policy. It had taken nearly 6 centuries and a series of bloody wars for Britain to colonise Ireland, but by 1700 all the principal Catholic landowners had been replaced by their Protestant conquerors. Modern agricultural methods were introduced, aimed at increasing the production of new cash crops for export to the markets in England. The Irish themselves had become almost entirely dependent on the potato when a devastating fungus wiped out the crop. While the landowners continued to ship out their grain to where it realised the best prices, it's estimated that 2 million Irish were forced to emigrate.
It's hard to conceive of the horrors that William and Ellen would have seen, especially in Cork. I mean, literally people half naked, bodies in the side of the street, mothers with children, sometimes having to leave a dead child by the roadside. The extent of the crisis is just unfathomable in sort of modern Europe.
As a cabinet maker, William Collins would have had enough money to get his family out to London. But they arrived to a hostile reception in a city where commentators wrote of the bloody Irish bringing over famine fever and living like pigs.
Yeah, I have 2 thoughts about this. It's one that it's good that William got his family out to London, to England, But the other one is you know, he had a very good living. He was lower middle class. He was a cabinet maker, and I should imagine it was quite a good life. And this beautiful place, Cork. I mean, look at it. And to have to leave this because of famine, and go to the slums of London. I mean, that must have been so hard. I'm sure he wasn't expecting it to be as bad as it was, but it was pretty bad when he got there. I mean, it is a tragedy to leave this beautiful, beautiful place. I've fallen in love with it. It's fantastic.
Whilst in County Cork, Barbara visits the Aberstrowry Famine Memorial and talks to Dennis O'Sullivan, treasurer for the famine commemoration for Cork.
The English, they weren't too kind to us, you know.
No, I know.
Before the English came, we were dead happy to be fighting between ourselves, you know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, dear. At school, when we came to this period in history, we'd say, oh yes, they had a potato famine in Ireland, and that was it. And I feel a bit ashamed, I didn't know.
Are you English or are you part Irish? Or?
I'm English, but I've just found out that my ancestors, great grandparents, came from Cork. Isn't that lovely? I'm ever so proud, because I've always loved the Irish. Love the Irish.
Nice.
You know, but this is dreadful. I didn't really, and it has 9,000 bodies. Awful.
In this plot here, people weren't buried individually, they were just healed in.
Well,
so
in
this pitch, there are 9, you can see the outline of the 9 pits, and there are between 8 and 10,000 people buried here.
Oh my goodness me.
You know, that at one time there wasn't even enough clay or earth to cover them. They were covered with sawdust for a while, you know, and if you go down, I'd say 4 inches the most, you'll still find the bones of these misfortunate people that died with hunger. This was where a child of 3 years was buried. Belonged to some very rich person that could afford to put up this ironwork, you know. You just hear of this child, but I mean, how many thousand more children that we didn't hear anything about, you know.
So really, I mean, I count myself lucky to be here, because my great-great-grandfather got his wife, Ellen, and his daughter, Marianne, out of here, to London.
They were the lucky ones, you know, the crowd that immigrated.
Never had any idea that I had any Irish blood in me whatsoever. And that's made me think, why? And I would have thought my mother did have to know about that. And I don't think she would have liked it, because she would have thought, oh, I know where they come from, those Irish, where they were living in the real slums of the East End. And she wouldn't have told me, or she didn't tell me, or we should have kept it quiet. So it's quite something to learn about that I've got Irish in me. It's good. I feel really good about it. So now I know where Mummy's side of the family came to the East End from. I can't wait to get back to England to find out where the Deekses' side were from.
On Barbara's return to London, there's a package from Paul Johnson from the Metropolitan Archives, with news of her great-great-grandfather, John Deeks, who she last left in the workhouse.
Dear Barbara, I've managed to track down John Deeks' death certificate, and I'm afraid it's not good news. He died of pneumonia and senile decay in the Bethnal Green Infirmary in 1909 and was of no fixed abode. Also, and sorry to be the bearer of more bad news, but I've traced the death certificate of John's father, who was called Golding Deeks, and he died in the Bethnal Green workhouse. Golding Deeks. Golding, that's an unusual name. I know Golding as a a surname, a Jewish surname, but I don't know Golding as a Christian name. So I wonder where Golding Deeks comes from.
The documents reveal that John Deeks was in the workhouse until he died. His father, Golding Deeks, also died a pauper in the East End. But Golding had not been born there.
Golding Deeks, age 56, bricklayer. Oh, well, that runs through the family. He was born Bures, St Mary, Suffolk. Oh, Suffolk. Oh, that's a surprise. I could believe Ireland, but not Suffolk. Why do they talk like that? How do they talk in Suffolk? I can't remember. Played a nice little theatre there in Bury St Edmunds. Well, that would be nice to go there to Suffolk then. The funny thing about me, I always think of myself as a townie, because I don't like the country. I like to go and visit. It's lovely to go and visit, you know, but then 2 days later I want to come home, you know, because I'm a high-heel lady. I'm not flats, and I take all the wrong clothes to the country, and it's the mud. And when it rains a lot, and when it's hot, it's too hot, and I can hear all those birds all the time and things like that. I'm a real townie. So to me, Suffolk is real countryside.
The village of Bures is split by the River Stour, with one half in Essex, the other in Suffolk. In Golding Deeks' day, Bures was a brickmaking centre and regularly sent bricks to London in barges on the river. But with the Industrial Revolution, employment in the countryside for bricklayers like Golding collapsed. So he was forced to seek work in the East End.
They would have seen all the traffic of all the bricks and thought, well, he was a bricklayer and maybe prospects would have been better in London, so I'll go to London. And of course, he ends up in the workhouse. Makes you think that maybe they should have stayed put. But then, would I have been here? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. That's a funny thought.
Barbara's on her way to Bury St Edmunds to meet Sheila Reid at the Suffolk Record Office. She hopes she can throw more light on the Deeks family and the unusual Christian name of Golding.
Sheila, I found out that my great-great-great-granddad, Golding Deeks, was a bricklayer who came from Suffolk. And so I just want to find out more about the Deeks, and I believe you might have some news for me. Yeah?
I do.
Good.
Deeks is a name that crops up in Suffolk, and here we have a marriage entry.
Yeah.
And we believe this is the marriage entry of Golding Deeks' parents. So you have the marriage here between William Deeks and Elizabeth Golding. And William Deeks is actually signing his name.
Yes.
Where Elizabeth Golding can't. There's a cross next to her name.
Is that what the cross is? Yeah,
that's what the cross is, yeah. So it's because she can't actually write her own name, so it's been written in for her.
Yeah.
And she's put an X, that's her mark. In this period of time in Suffolk, Golding was quite a prominent family in the Bures and Glemsford area, and Golding was often used as a Christian name to carry it through the line.
I see.
Right? So because it's coming from the mother's side, her surname isn't carried forward, but she's brought it through at
it's
one
a
of her
lovely
son's
name.
names.
I think it's a lovely Christian name.
Yes, and there's other Goldings in the area. So there's Golding Garrett, Golding Boggin and Golding Bird. And the Boggins family and the Garrett family definitely have quite a lot of land and wealth. And there was a Golding Constable born in Bures, who was the father of the painter John Constable.
Really?
Yes.
Could that be anything to do with my son?
Well, we have done some research and we think there is a connection.
No.
Yes.
Oh, goodness me. John Constable.
Yes.
Oh, in the family. Oh, goodness. Oh.
Right, and we have actually prepared a family tree to try and illustrate this. There's Elizabeth Deeks, Golding Deeks' mum, and then her father Mark, grandfather, great-grandfather, all Marks.
Yeah.
And there's this John Golding here who has a daughter Judith, and she is the mother of John Constable, whose son is called Golding Constable.
Yeah.
And that is John Constable the painter.
This one down
This one down here, yes. John Constable was born 1776. Elizabeth Deeks was born 1776, so they're the same age, yes, but very distant cousins. So whether they actually knew each other or not,
I'm sure they did.
Open to question.
I bet you did a painting for their wedding. I've read it somewhere.
William Deeks and Elizabeth Golding were married in 1798. Elizabeth's great-great-grandfather, John Golding, was a very wealthy landowner in 17th century Suffolk. He divided his fortune between his children, but it was the descendants of his daughter Judith who benefited the most.
And because she married quite old, she actually only had a couple of children rather than a big family of children to share the money between. So there's still quite a substantial amount in the family when it comes down to Golding Constable, and then you end up with John Constable.
It's just the Deeks' luck that the money didn't go down this side, it went all the way down that side, didn't it?
It did,
yeah. Oh, I'm not good with doors. I'm a little bit flummoxed because I can't believe John Constable. Me, little Barbara Windsor, or Barbara Ann Deeks. You know, I think that's amazing. But what the funny thing about it is, it seems on the Deeks' side, they're a bit more upmarket than the Ellis' side. Oh, mother, if you're looking down. Love it, love it.
While she's in East Anglia, Barbara can't resist going to Flatford to see where Golding Constable once lived and where John Constable painted the Hay Wain.
I've come here today to pay my respects to my distant cousin, John Constable. Did you get that? John Constable. And it got me to think about fate and destiny, what it all throws up, you know, that who you fall in love with and who the money goes to and who it doesn't go to. I mean, look at that beautiful house. That's where Golding Constable lived. And then John Constable went on to live in a very posh Hampstead. And Golding Deeks went to live in poor East End. Oh, that's fate, isn't it? But it's just been a lovely journey, and I'm very proud of my ancestors. What I found out about them, they were good working stock, you know. All, majority of them, yeah, all very poor. But I wouldn't have wanted to be on the rich side at all, because then I wouldn't be me, would I? Wouldn't have made me what I am, who I am.
Have you been inspired by the programme? If you'd like to get started on researching your own family history, visit the BBC website for expert advice and helpful tips. Go to bbc.co.uk/familyhistory.